My name's Katie Noonan. I'm a singer, songwriter, pianist and producer, and I guess businesswoman. Number one, I'm a mum. But yeah, I've been lucky enough to be a full-time musician for exactly half my life. I realised last year when I was 36 that I've been a full-time muso since I was 18, which is pretty amazing. I feel very lucky for that. I started off with my band George, and then a band Elixir, and then a solo career in classical stuff and all sorts of stuff in between. I've been lucky enough to have, you know, a few ARIA Awards and all of that kind of jazz. Yeah. So yeah, and now I'm a fully bona fide independent artist. My last 5 releases have been indie. I started a label called Kin Records, which stands for Katie Isaac Noonan, which is my husband. And yeah, I've released, I think, 5 albums. I think I just released, well, my 5th one's coming out this Friday. So yeah, so that's me pretty much in a nutshell. So my pathway into music is hard to measure when that started because my family's deeply musical. So my mum is an opera singer, my dad was a kind of jazz crooner, and my grandparents were carny folk. They were on the Tivoli circuit back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. My grandfather was a clown who sang, and he played with Roy Reen and George Wallace and all these kind of legendary vaudeville guys. So yeah, it's way back in my DNA. I started learning music from when I was little because my mum was a music teacher, so she taught me piano and singing from age actually 2 or 3. And then I went through school and went to the conservatorium music school through high school. And then I always thought I was going to be an investigative journalist. That was my plan, but I ended up doing music, accidentally falling into music and going to the Conservatorium of Music in Brizzy. Whilst doing an opera degree, which I then changed to jazz, George was starting to start as a band and become a major priority for me and my bandmates. My first ever kind of non-classical gig was at the Zoo in Brisbane at a gig called Ground Control to Major Fun. I remember it distinctly. I was just 18. I was dressed in air conditioning venting because it was all space age stuff, and all these awesome bands were there, like the Fabulous Nobodies, Isis, Damon Garvey, all these dudes that I looked up to, Regurgitator, I think. And that was my first gig, doing a Bowie tribute night at the Zoo. And then the Zoo went on to become our stomping ground where we found ourselves as musicians, and got a lot of advice from people like Jock and C and yourself who worked at the Zoo, and slowly built our thing around Brisbane, and then it went more national with it. Yeah.